Welcome to another message. This is going to be a pretty harsh message for a lot of people, and I mean it to be harsh, to be honest with you. You know, the Lord has shown me that, you know, He's waking up people that have somewhere to go. And there are a lot of people that are not being woken up, and the reason for this is very simple. You, you just don't wake up people that have nowhere to go. So if you're not waking up and this reality, this truth that is being presented to you is making no sense, you belong to this system. It's just that simple. Not everybody belongs to God. I think this is the hurdle that a lot of Christians are having in trying to explain color to a blind man. It's just that simple. Jesus Christ, when he prayed for the believers, he said, "Father, I pray for the ones that you gave me, not the world." That's a clear indication that not everybody here in this world is going to go back to the Father. It doesn't mean you're not a part of creation. Of course you are. You exist, I think, but it doesn't mean that you're going back to the Father neither. So this argument and debate in respects to people, you know, coming to know the Lord, I hate to be this blunt, but the truth is that not everybody's coming to the Lord. As a matter of fact, most people are here to build a system, and this system belongs to Satan. This is Satan's system. As a matter of fact, in my research, I couldn't even be convinced otherwise. Even to a simple fact of the music industry and the Satanism that I see in it. KISS, the very popular rock band of the 70s and 80s, their name is actually Knights in Satan's system. So, you know, I know this is Satan's system, period, not period. I could give you 1,000 proofs. It doesn't matter. If you're not meant to wake up, if you have nowhere to go, then you're not going to wake up. I'm not going to try to explain color to a blind man. But I'm going to show you, you know, why, as you can see down there, a classroom has been operating. And what's going on there is that is your slave training. You get put in these boxes to be indoctrinated with the system, to be trained for a specific role in the system, that you would be a participant in the building of the system. And it's, you know, it's year after year, month after month, week after week, day after day, classroom after classroom, moment after moment, lesson after lesson. You're being indoctrinated, and you're being trained, and you're being prepared for the system, that you would help build the system, of which is pretty much secured. The system in this world, Satan has built a pretty strong system. It certainly has influenced and conditioned a lot of people. It certainly has a lot of people enslaved to it that seem to think they're not slaves. I mean, what a brilliant system that you could have people enslaved to it and yet have them believe they're not. The greatest slaves are the slaves that don't think they're slaves. So, you know, when we look at this classroom, and we consider all that is going on there, all of these brains, these young brains, generation after generation after generation, just being filled to the brim with all of this knowledge. And you know, I hear a lot of people talk about how smart they are and how intelligent they are, and, you know, especially the non-believers, the atheists, pride themselves on being very, very smart. And let me explain to you what system smart is, what being smart in the system is. It's the ability to understand the system being presented to you, that it connects to you. It is also that you are able to retain the slave training, receive it and retain it, So once you've been able to excel in that area, that you're able to retain the information required to being a slave in this system, then you're considered intelligent. You're considered smart, and they want to promote you in that area. They want to push you. This is the motivation. Oh, you're really smart. You should take more slave training, and you should try to climb a little higher up in the system, because the higher up you go, the stronger your ability to continue this system and to strengthen it. The weakest levels of this system are the lowest levels. The highest levels that operate in this system typically are the people that are the most intelligent, because they have been motivated through pats on the back and gold stars and diplomas and degrees, and they've been motivated to be at a higher level in this system in order to continue it operating in the manner that it does. And heaven forbid you should ever tell these people that they've been deceived. You see, all of the information that they have, they consider that who they are. It's not just that they learned in this classroom all of this stuff. That stuff is who they are. That's how they identify themselves. By all of this education, by all of these years and months and weeks and classrooms and moments and lessons, this over years and years of conditioning has given them their personality. It's defined as to whom they are, and then who they are from this classroom, they go here. And this here that you're seeing playing now is time lapse of the building of New York City, and that's what you're trained for. You're trained to build this system and to keep this system operating, this satanic system that we're in. And you have no idea who you're serving and worshiping in these high levels of this system, but you're working very hard and you're very motivated to build this system, and you have no idea who this system even belongs to. You're completely oblivious to it, and it's a shame, because you guys you don't know. And when people try to tell you, you're so oblivious and so asleep and so enslaved and indoctrinated to being a slave, to being what they refer to you as, and they've said this, and when I say they, I'm talking about the people at the very top. Even your celebrities and your movie stars and your science people and the people at the highest levels, the people that are being rewarded the greatest, because there are people being greatly rewarded here in this system, and those people call you a useless eater because, well, take a look at yourself. First and foremost, you're the only participation you have in the system isn't as a club member. You're a participant as an employee to the system, as a slave. I mean, it's that point blank. You go to school, you learn your slave training, you go and find a position in the system, you sit down, you do what you've been trained to do, not only in your work education or in your work knowledge, but as well in your behaviors, as well in your world beliefs and your understandings of this thing that you operate in. And the people that are very high up in this world, that are pulling the strings, the puppeteers, have bought a lot of people. They've bought a lot of souls. People have sold out that they wouldn't be just slaves to the system, but that they would be influencers, conditioners, handlers, people of influence, people of power, people of wealth, people of fame, people of fortune, people of celebrity. And when they think about you as you're standing in the crowd cheering them from an auditorium, if they're a musician, or as you scream their name walking down a red carpet, or as you go out and purchase their clothing and their perfumes and their magazines, and you're watching their reality shows, and as you're worshiping and idolizing these people, even the science, because there's a lot of science worship now. People are worshiping, Bill Nye, the science guy, who is a complete and utter joke. He was a comedian. He was never a scientist. Walt Disney picked him up. I mean, you got to do your own research, but and then you look at Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is clearly a paid actor. Clearly, when you investigate him. But again, if you're indoctrinated into the system and you're a system believer or a system employee, a slave, you're not going to want to hear that, let alone take the time to go look at it. And even if you do, depending on whether or not God has chosen you to wake up, because you actually do have somewhere to go, you'll either see it or you won't. But the truth of the matter is that they call you useless eaters. They find you to be absolutely disgusting. These movie stars, when you're cheering their name and they're waving back at you and smiling and getting their awards and telling you how much they love you, you know they're lying, right? You know that's not true. You know that if you ever ran into one of your favorite movie stars on the streets and said, come on over for dinner, you know they're not coming, right? You know they're not coming to your house. And if you said, look, my kids really love you, can I bring them to your house to meet you? You know the answer is going to be no, right? You're a useless eater to these people. You are a system slave. And I'm sorry that you think you're really, really smart, and maybe you are, but they took your intelligence and they manipulated you with it, and they conditioned you by it, that you would be a part of this system and be too blind to even see it. So with that being said, I'm just going to let you know that Scripture, the Bible, has told us the truth for over 2,000 years. Christ came to this world, and he is the only truth in life, and nobody gets to the Father but through him. You guys are caught in a snare. Satan's got a snare. That snare is this system, and it offers every single thing a slave needs to feel as though they're not a slave while being a slave. I ask that God bless you guys. I hope this video caught somebody's attention. The truth of the matter is that you're walking around aimlessly. You guys are literally enslaved to Satan's system. I ask God to wake you up. Be blessed.